Foundations of Biblical Hebrew, Class 4. Basics of Hebrew reading, writing, and sentence structure. The Hebrew language is written and read from right to left, which is very different from nearly all the languages of what we would consider the Western world. In English, for example, we write our letters from left to right. We read them from left to right. But in the Hebrew, it is exactly the opposite. It is backwards from what the English language would be. You're going to write and read the letters from right to left. Hebrew books, including the Hebrew Bible, begin with what we in the West would think of as the back of the book, which might be very surprising to you the first time you pick up a Hebrew Bible, for example. You're going to find Genesis in the very back of the book, and you're going to find the very last books of the Bible in the very front of the book. So you actually open a Hebrew Bible from the right side rather than the left, and the text reads, as I said, from right to left. Another thing that's important to understand about the original biblical Hebrew is that there were no upper or lowercase letters or punctuation marks that were used. This is true of many of the ancient languages. They usually had all of their letters in the same, what we would think of as case. There wasn't an uppercase and a lowercase. All the letters were written in the same way. In the original biblical Hebrew, there were no upper or lowercase letters. And it is important to stress as well, there were no punctuation marks. So the context and the sentence structure would have to determine where you should pause or where you should punctuate your speech when you're reading it. Hebrew sentences are often tied together with the Hebrew word for and in longer strings of thought, making the Hebrew language sound much faster and more flowing than if each thought was broken up into individual sentences. So at times, instead of making a statement and then ending it, then making another statement and then ending it, there's a flow. They make a statement, and then they make another statement, and then they make another statement, and it continues to move in a flowing pattern, and it does tend to come across as more fluid and fast when you're hearing it. A sentence example in the lesson is, and Tom went to the store and purchased tomatoes and returned home and ate them all and was full. That would be a way that a sentence might be structured in the Hebrew, which seems as if it should be broken up into more staccato sentences. But that is one of the things that is a flavor of the Hebrew language. The sentence structure of Hebrew is different from English in several other ways. In English, the word order in a sentence normally flows from the subject to the verb to the direct object. So, for example, Tom ate the tomato. In Hebrew, the word order in a sentence normally flows from the verb to the subject to the direct object, which would make the same sentence read, ate Tom the tomato.